So Hanukkah's on Wednesday, festival of light and warmth and hope. Couldn't come quickly enough at the end of this terrible year that threatened Jewish lives and the life of the Jewish people in ways that many of us have never experienced. Hanukkah is the festival of Jewish survival. By the time of the Maccabees, it was practically over for our people. There were hardly any of us left. Judaism was on the verge of disappearing. Hellenistic culture was overwhelming. And a few committed Hasmoneans refused to assimilate. And in some inexplicable way, for a brief moment in time, this fundamentally flawed family became the vessel through which Judaism survived. Back in 165 BCE, what were the chances that this rather obscure Hasmonean family could launch a successful revolt against Greece? Greece. 2 centuries earlier, somewhere around the year 332 BCE, Alexander the Great entered Israel. The Talmud describes his encounter with the high priest, Simon the Just, who went out with the noblemen of the community to greet Alexander and to plead for their well-being. And perhaps due to the influence of his teacher Aristotle, Alexander had positive feelings for the Judeans. He allowed them to remain autonomous in exchange for their loyalty. And in gratitude, the Jews agreed to name every child born that year Alexander. To this day, Alexander is a popular name for both boys and girls. Popular Jewish name. According to legend, before embarking on his Persian campaign, Alexander consulted the oracle at Delphi. What were the chances that the priestess would have told the Macedonian king that in days to come, the conquered religion and culture of Simon the Just would survive, while that of the conqueror, Alexander the Great, wouldn't? But for the Hasmoneans, Judaism would have likely ended around the 2nd century BCE or the 1st, as many other ancient civilizations that succumbed to Hellenism and disappeared off the face of the earth. Now, I'm not sure that all of our Christian friends know this, but if Judaism had ended at that time, there would have been no Christianity. No Christmas, no Santa, no reindeers. And the songs. Who would have written all those Christmas songs if it wasn't for the Jews? This is a true story. One day during World War II, Irving Berlin, who would give concerts to American troops in Europe, received an invitation to visit Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Churchill, who admired the scholarship of the British philosopher Isaiah Berlin, also a Jew, invited the wrong Berlin to a Downing Street lunch. During the lunchtime conversation, it slowly dawned on the Prime Minister that a terrible mistake had been made, and that his guest was Irving Berlin and not Isaiah. He knew this for sure. When he asked the supposed scholar what was the most important thing that he had written, and the bemused composer responded, "White Christmas." If they only knew. The anthem of American Christians during Noel was written by the son of a cantor. For that alone, our Christian friends should pay homage to Judah Maccabee. The question staring us in the face, especially this year, is, are we committed to Jewish survival? Are we really committed? Are you? How so? Show me. What are you actually doing to ensure the health and well-being of the Jewish state and the American Jewish community? Have you prioritized Judaism in your daily routines and charitable contributions? Have you filled your children and grandchildren with enough Judaism to ensure that they will want to transmit our heritage to their posterity, as Jews have done since time immemorial? Or does the 3,000-year chain of transmission end in your family, with you? Think of what's at stake. 100 generations of the descendants of Judah Maccabee have transmitted Judaism to you. It has fallen into your laps. Is this where it all ends? The meaning of the word Hanukkah in Hebrew means to dedicate. Hanukkah is a festival of rededication. Are you dedicating yourselves to Judaism and to Jewish civilization? Have you re-examined, rethought, refocused, and rededicated yourselves to this miracle of Jewish survival, especially in the post-October 7th era? We hardly even pay attention to the dimensions of the miracle. Jews make a lot of noise, but we are a tiny people. 0.02% of the human race on a good day. You can fit all of the world's Jews into one Shanghai neighborhood. As Mark Twain wrote, we are a nebulous dim puff of stardust lost in the blaze of the Milky Way. How has this perpetually persecuted people managed to outlast, out-endure, outlive, and out-survive even the mightiest empires? Think about it. You meet Hellenists in Hudson Yards? Do you meet Seleucids at Starbucks? The Assyrian Empire destroyed the northern Israelite kingdom in the year 722 BCE. Do you meet Assyrians in Astoria? Less than 150 years later, in 586 BCE, the Babylonians destroyed the southern kingdom of Judah and the Jerusalem temple. You ever had lunch with a Babylonian in Brooklyn? The Philistines made war on ancient Israel for centuries. Are there Philistines in Flatiron? Hittites in Harlem? Chaldeans in Chelsea? Sumerians in Soho? Nabateans in NoHo? Have you sat near a Canaanite at Carnegie Hall? Have you ever been to a movie with a Moabite in Midtown Manhattan? Even the great empires of antiquity are all gone. The Egyptian, the Babylonian, and the Persian rose, filled the planet with sound and splendor, then faded to dream stuff and passed away, Twain wrote. The Greek and the Roman followed and made a vast noise, and they're gone. Other peoples have sprung up and held their torch high for a time, but it burned out, and they sit in twilight now or have vanished. I met a traveler from an antique land, wrote the poet Shelley, who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. During this season, rededicate yourselves to the miracle of Jewish survival. As you gaze into the lights of the menorah, feel the hope of renewal, that even in the darkest days, even during this, the most unsettled Hanukkah season that many of us have ever experienced, rededicate yourselves to the proposition that the earth will be filled again with light. When you kindle the candles of Hanukkah, make this commitment. There will be Jews in my family for the next generation and generations to come. As I received Judaism from my ancestors, so I will transmit Judaism to my descendants. And be proud of who you are. Our people never yields to despair, no matter how dark the days. We affirm that light will shine on us and on all humanity. And a word to all those who dream of a world without Jews: we ain't going anywhere. We've seen your ilk since the beginning of time. We have outlived them all, outlasted them all, and we will still be here long after your hateful ideology passes away from this world. I always feel a surge of religious spirit at this time of the year. With so many Americans marking overlapping religious festivals, Hanukkah and Christmas begin on the same day next week. I sense a special atmosphere, at least for a brief moment in time, when almost everyone takes off from work, when we go to houses of worship and have holiday observances at home, when the entire world seems as if it's searching or yearning for some special spirit, I too get inspired. "'Twas Shabbat before Hanukkah, and all through the night, there were prayers and petitions for better days and more light. The Jews and the Gentiles this year synced, Hanukkah and Christmas together linked. What a special, awesome, and holy week, giving joy to the strong and hope to the meek. So as we come to another December, pay attention and always remember we are the Jews. We started it all. The Maccabees saved religion for all. Way before the tinsel and hollis, Mattathias refused to throw in the tallis. Before Hamas, the Houthis, and Hezbollah, and way before Christmas come, the Maccabees fought and won the war and finally managed to settle the score. Freedom wherever folks sit, that was the spark on that day that was lit. This is what we commit today. freedom for us and those far away. That is the point of our dedication and the reason for our supplication. So give thanks for your blessings and get down on your knees and then go out to the local Chinese. Or better yet, serve all invitees lox and bagels and mountains of cream cheese. Break out the box of colorful dreidels. Tell the handsome men and beautiful maidels, no sadness, no worry, nothing blue, just latkes and donuts and kugel, too. No need to bake, boil, or broil. Anything can be fried in oil. Step away from work and toil, except if you're the local moil. Praying next week hard and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. Sunshine and warmth will return again, with peace on earth and goodwill toward men.